Tony. So my story is in a different light. And, certainly Norman Rockwell, my gosh, I mean, he really looked at things and he used light, but he also made us think about things in different ways by the things and the details that he included. So if we could even like 1/10 of the skill show you things about life in our stories, we'd be very happy. It's so nice to be in these images. So when I had young children, and my husband and I were having some friends over, I got to do the errands, which was a really good deal. If you have really young children, doing the errands is like, I'm out. Okay, I'm good. I'm out. I'm going to go out. So we lived in Central Square in Cambridge, and I was like, okay, I'm good. I'll go out. I had to go and get beer, and then I had to go and return some of the video tapes to the video store. It was a while ago, right? And then I had to go return some books, and I also had to get $250 in cash to pay our car mechanic who did his work out of a garage in Roxbury. So, I had to get $250. Robert had written him a nice little letter. Dear Joe, thanks for the great transmission job. Signed, Robert Fairchild. So I had the letter, I had the cash, I had all these errands to run. I got home and, the kids are screaming and it's just crazy. And he said, so did you get, you get everything? Did you get the money? I said, of course I've got the money. I mean, who wouldn't have the, naturally the money would be the thing that I didn't have the money. I didn't have it at all. No. And he was kind of getting steamy around the ears and eyes bugging out. And I said, no, don't worry about it. I'm going right back to Central Square. I'm going to find this money. Because, where I know exactly where I went. I'm just going to go right back to the ATM. Yeah, I went to the ATM, not there. I went to the liquor store, not there. I went to the VCR, the video store, not there. I went to the library, not there. And so then I went to the police station because there's a nice big police station in Central Square. And I walk in and there's this nice, big round face, good old Sergeant Murphy type guy sitting at the desk. And I say, hi, I just would like to report something that's been lost. And he said, yes, well, what did you lose? I said, well, I lost an envelope that said Joe on the outside and had $250 in cash in it. And I didn't get to finish. Oh my God, lady. Oh my God, lady, what? You dropped $250 cash in Central Square and you think somebody's going to who do you think is going to return that, lady? The Easter Bunny? I said, look, I'm not like a perfect person. I'm certainly not a saint, but if I found something and I thought that there was some chance someone would be able to get it back, I would return it. He said, oh God, all right, I'll write it down. So he wrote it down. And I went back home. And we had friends over for dinner, so everybody was very polite, but we did talk about, how naive I was and how awful people were. And people really were laying into, like humankind was not to be trusted and blah, 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 when the phone rang. And I picked it up, and since my husband and I are both self-employed, it's not unusual for someone to say, can I speak to Robert Fairchild, please? I said, sure. And I gave him the phone, and he said, yes, this is Robert Fairchild. Yes. Yes. Well, it said, Dear Joe, thank you for the transmission job. And then yes, you did. You did. You will. Wow. I mean, no, I don't. My wife does. No, but that's amazing. That's just, thank you so much. You're so, thank you. And he hung up. I said, so, and what? He said, well, you're not going to believe this. I said, oh, I think I will. He said, you're not going to believe this. This guy found the money in the ATM where you left it. And he took it home with him and he decided to call every Robert Fairchild in the phone book until he found one that had lost the money. And if he didn't find it, he was just going to keep it or give it to a charity. But he found me instead. And I said, what was that other part about? He said, he was going to send it to us as a check because we obviously have a little trouble holding on to our cash. And I said, no, that's my wife. Thank you anyway, right? So, because, life is so rich and amazing, you just can't make stuff up that is going to top this. When the man sent the check, his name was Robert Weiss, V-Y-C-E. Right? And the very next day, my husband called me up and he said, Nora, I'm listening to NPR. And this is like one of our things. He does listening to NPR and then he tells me about it. It's great. And so he was listening to NPR and he said, I just heard this amazing story about this man who found $29,000 in cash wrapped up in socks in a bag in Florida. He was a homeless man. He was an African-American man, and he went into the police station to return it and got it back to the owner. And I thought, that is a fabulous story. And so I called, because this was so long ago, I called up NPR, I got the transcript, and I wrote a children's book about it. But the thing is, it really changed a lot of people's ideas about money and vice and virtue, because what brings out vice more than money, except maybe lust, right? But it also can be a prompt to virtue. Thank you.